I was always the last to know what's happening. And then I started business very early, and people looked at me like, what are you going to teach us about leadership? Do you even know? Right? So I was like an outsider through and through. And I figured that that was not just me. A few of us might be shy, a few of you might be introverted, but we're all outsiders. And it can really differ from where you are and with whom you are and who you are internally, right? So if you are an introvert in a room full of extroverts, you're an outsider. If you're an extrovert in a room full of introverts, you're an outsider. If you're the only woman in the room, you're an outsider. If you are a new kid from a different city, different culture, different language, you're an outsider. If you are a young founder in a room full of older executives, you're an outsider. If you're an NRI kid who didn't grow up in India, you're an outsider. Yeah, I can see some nods. If you are an immigrant who was not born in that country, you're an outsider. You might have a different face, body, style that doesn't match the vibe of the space. You might think differently, you might ask different kinds of questions. All of that makes you an outsider. So we're all outsiders here, aren't we? In some shape or form. So I figured that, hey, it's not just about who you are, it's about where you are, right? The environment and the group differs, it matters. So I couldn't change where I am, right? I mean, if you got into an internship or a job or college, I can't really go out and change it, but maybe I can change who I am. So I became like a shapeshifter. Yeah. I'm not that thin, but hey, one can hope, right? So instead of working on my skills and self-confidence, which kind of was like, okay, I worked on impressing people. I worked on becoming a people pleaser. I'm going to laugh at all your jokes. I'm going to try and look like you. I'm going to make you like me. Yes. And that was my desperate attempt to fit in. That was my desperate attempt to make myself no longer be an outsider. But this was my philosophy. Treat others the way you want to be treated. I figured if I treat you with kindness, you'll treat me with kindness. If I smile at you, you'll smile at me. If I give you all the office gossip, you'll give some of that to me back. Yeah, so this was my motto. Treat others the way you want to be treated. It was really working out for me for a while. There is one fundamental problem with this. When you treat others the way you want to be treated, the actual thing is about how do you treat yourself. Like you got to show them how you treat yourself for them to mimic and mirror that action, right? That feeling. But what if you don't treat yourself right? What if all you're doing is trying to project everything on another person, but internally things are kind of not really there yet? So that's when I figured that, hey, I just don't have unconscious bias. I have conscious bias towards myself. When I looked at myself, when I heard myself, I believed all the things they said about me. I believed I was a weirdo. I believed I looked like a guy. I believed I was shy. I believed I was not there yet. I believed I was not a leader. I believed every single thing they said about me. And I became conscious about my internal biases. I have to tell you, that was like an aha moment for me. I'm like, oh my God, I'm the problem? All this while it was me. So this is what I did. I did something called as a litmus test, yeah? And all you science freaks, don't come at me. Yeah, this is different. Okay. This is what you can do as well. If you also kind of are nodding along with me, like, Sonali, I also feel like an outsider and feel like I've been people-pleasing a bit, right? Couple of things you can do. First, are you the same person when you're with someone with less influence versus someone with more influence? If you can get something out of someone, do you treat them better? And if they serve no purpose to you, do you treat them differently? You don't have to tell me, but something to ponder, right? Who do you listen to and who do you dismiss without thinking? This can be very easily figured out when you're in a group of people. There'll be people who might be very loud but might not have the best ideas. A lot of people laugh and kind of encourage them, and there are people who are quiet and shy and introspective, might not really share their ideas out loud, but they have really good ideas. So who are you really listening to? And finally, who gets your full energy and who gets your leftovers? Again, think about it. Think about that at home, when you enter work, if you're doing internships and all, figure out where your energies are. And that will tell you about, are you still trying to fit in or are you trying to, what's really happening? So it's about who you are, no matter where you are, right? I can't control who you are. I can't control where I am. But I can control who I choose to be and who I am, isn't it? Because like I'm trying to tell you to treat me the way I treat myself. If I don't treat myself right, surprises. It's not happening from you either, right? So let's talk about my solution for today, identity maxing. Let's see, do we have any AI geeks here? Claude enthusiasts? Yeah? Yeah, there you go. So you probably know that it's the whole thing called Claude maxing. So I figured, hey, let's be a wannabe Gen Z. Yeah, cut me some slack. I can do this. All right, identity maxing. What are we talking about? Identity maxing is about owning your unfair advantages. All those people who kept on telling me, Sonali, you have to fit in. Sonali, you're not leader-like. Sonali, you have to do this. Sonali, I mean, could you try and dress up like a girl? All those people, when I became very, very comfortable in my own skin and I became my energetic, happy, cool self, they came to me and asked me, how do you do this? Teach me how you're so cool. I want to be like you. So I figured that's my unfair advantage. So an unfair advantage is your unique edge. It's what really makes you an outsider. So all the differences that all of you have, for which you've been treated like an outsider all this while, is what makes you unique. And that's your edge. That's your unfair advantage. That's something that nobody can take away from you, which is why they're trying to lower that volume and make you be more like themselves. Don't agree, right? So what do? Here's my way of doing identity maxing. And maybe a couple of you can copy that as well. Get the haircut you have always wanted. As you can see, some mohawk thing going on here. Now I'm looking decent cause college. Yeah. Wear what makes you feel good, not cause Instagram worthy. See, today also I'm wearing like two different shoelaces. It's fun. Yeah. Learn something and be messy at it. I used to be a musician during school, and then very recently I picked up the guitar again, and I figured how horrible I sing. But it didn't matter because it really made me happy. And ask a dumb question. There's nothing like that. I'm sure your teachers tell you all the time, ask questions, ask questions. You second guess yourself. I can bet whatever you're thinking, someone else is thinking. So be that courageous one, right? I want you to always think about what part of me am I hiding in this room, no matter which room you're in. And who am I trying to impress? This is going to be a really good one. Who am I trying to impress? A couple of more things I'd like you to see if you are like a fan of making notes, if you're a fan of taking pictures. This is the slide I'd want you to take. Do what you can with this. Try and do a couple of things. Compliment someone on something that's them, not flattery. So don't compliment them on, hey, you're looking cool and I like your dress. Compliment them on something that makes them them, their unfair advantage, their outsider status, right? Say something in class you'd ordinarily hold back. I'm sure when you sit in class, you have a lot of ideas, you have a lot of thoughts. Try, push yourself. What's the max that can happen? Right? Do something uncool without justifying it. All throughout my school and college life, I used to be so scared of being labeled as the boring one. Right now, being boring is cool. Health is cool. Not drinking is cool. Taking care of yourself is cool. Being happy is cool. In school, in college, those are all the uncool bits. It gets better, I promise you. Invite the different kid. I'm sure in your circle, in your class, in any different kind of communities you're part of, there is an outsider. There is a different kind of a kid. After this, I implore you to bring them in that conversation. Learn about them, ask them questions. You'll find out they are way more alike than they are different. Start the project you've been scared to start. I know you have so many ideas. You're only thinking of what if I fail? What if they judge me? Blah, blah, blah. It doesn't really matter. It's your first project. Let it fail. Let it go, right? Just put it out there, right? Call out something that bothered you respectfully, right? If somebody said something that didn't land well with you, it can be a teacher, it can be someone of your friends, it can be a parent, doesn't matter. If you think you have a different opinion, and if you think you can change their opinion by sharing yours, do that. Tell them. Share an unpopular opinion and survive it, right? So many of us are always trying to be yes people. In groups, we have this herd mentality. Oh, the cool kid said this. I obviously have to agree to it. You don't really have to, right? Just push through it. Just tell them, hey, you know what? I think let's do something different. See what happens. I can tell you whatever you're thinking is not going to happen, right? And be kind to someone who doesn't benefit you in any way. This is one of my favorite things. I keep on telling myself this. Can I be kind to another person from who I don't get anything, right? That's the real mark of character. That's the real mark of being an honorable human being, right? Again, very, very heavy words, but I can tell you that that's what makes you different because you know how it feels like to be an outsider. So I make another person feel the same. Be kind, be cool. So, in a world obsessed with copying each other, double down on who you are. Yes, each one of you so unique, so unique. I can see it, I can feel it. That energy is contagious. You're holding yourself back, you're just trying to be like the other person. But you gotta own your unfair advantage. Let them call you an outsider, let them call you weird, let them call you uncool. The world takes around and will come back to you. I promise. I'm a living proof. I used to be called weird. I used to be called all these names that you're afraid of being called. And I'm gonna tell you, at the end, we win. All right, that's my time. I would love to hear from you if you have any questions, any thoughts. Um, I write very regularly on LinkedIn. If you're a reader, which I highly encourage you to be, I also write a newsletter on Substack. Would love to hang out and follow you. And if you have any thoughts, do share. Introverts, you can DM me. All right. All right. Thank you so much again. I had a great time.